get to our special guest today, and that is Queen Kenetra. And she is a managing director of Prosperity Capital Group. I've also put out it's a bad echo. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm not sure what to tell you on that. I think someone. Oh, that's a good question. The principle itself, and I'll answer this question real quick, goes back to AGAM. That's what happens when you're paid out almost 3 times the amount from your principal earning on for 365 days. So your principal stays with AGAM, and you're earning. So you actually earn and on that 300 on your principal that you initially purchased your suitcases with. You'll earn on that for 365 days. All right, and then you have the principal you actually initially invested into the platform or purchased suitcase with will stay with AGAM. So you got to remember you're earning 3 times as much on your funds. So I hope that answers your question. All righty, now to our guest speaker. Queen, are you there?
I am here.
All right, awesome. Well, let me talk about it. Queen Kenetra, cash flow Queen Kenetra, or is that how you would like me to introduce you, or just Queen Kenetra is what I know you from as. And I have to say, it was interesting. I first saw one of your videos. You were walking in the sand on the beaches talking about Questra and the excitement that you were, from Questra as well as Atlanta Global Asset Management. So I said, okay, I have to know who this person is. And now I come to find out that you're a very dynamic young lady that has been out there making it happen as an entrepreneur. And so you're now a managing partner or managing director of Prosperity Capital Group, but you're also a Bitcoin enthusiast, and you have a following of investors and wealth, investors that follow you because you're involved in wealth management. So you have a group of people that follow you. So they've been having positive results with Questra and Atlanta Global Asset as well from your teachings. And then also I didn't know that you were a serious diehard digital coin, or should I say Bitcoin enthusiast, because now I see you have a company called, or website, is bitcoindigitalmoney.com. And so, and that's when I come to find out that you're a true entrepreneur. I mean, you have multiple hats that you manage, but also one of the big hats you manage is Atlanta Global Asset Management, and that's how I come to know you. And so I'm excited to hear you talk about our topic for the day, which is Bitcoin, topic of the day, which is Bitcoin security. So, Queen Kenetra, welcome to the call, and I really appreciate you giving your time today to discuss this topic because it's hot. People need to understand how to secure their Bitcoin. Without further ado, welcome to the call, Queen.
Definitely. Well, greetings to you, Melton, and everyone else. Let me just do a sound check real quick. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Everyone else?
Yeah, I'm sure if you can hear me, they can hear me. I'm
okay,
a little
awesome.
stuffy, so yeah. But all is well. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. I am a Bitcoin enthusiast. I've been involved in Bitcoin since 2012, so AGAM is not my first viewing of Bitcoin. I'm what you would call, I guess, an early adopter of Bitcoin. I was talking about Bitcoin when people were, looking at me very, very strange. It kind of reminds me of the internet back when I was talking about that, back in mid-'90s, and, people were looking at me like, there's no way, like the post office is going to, not be the mail carrier of the number one mail carrier and all this kind of stuff. And there's no way I'm going to pay over the internet or some computer with my credit card and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, I've been, I guess, I'm not going to say luck, but I've been in a great position to identify trends, up-and-coming trends in business. And, I've just been able to identify that and be able to build a career around it. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15, but I won't belabor and get all off into that. Folks can Google me if they really want to know about me. But let's talk about Bitcoin security, because I really think, if the people here are going to, make money and build their portfolios with AGAM and so forth, it does you no good to build a huge portfolio and you don't know how to secure your wealth, right? So that's a big thing, and a lot of people are not accustomed to a decentralized type of technology. So when you're talking about Bitcoin, and let's just, when I say Bitcoin, I'm talking about every digital currency, all right? So I'm just going to say Bitcoin because that's what I'm in love with is Bitcoin. But at any rate, it does you no good to build a huge portfolio and you're not securing your portfolio. The thing about it is because Bitcoin has the cryptography that it has, it is the number one technology that hackers are trying to hack every single day, 24 hours a day. All right? Now, since the inception of Bitcoin, it's never been hacked. Bitcoin has never been hacked. However, exchanges have been hacked. People's personal wallets have been hacked. And different things like that. But Bitcoin, the blockchain, the protocol, never, okay? So what that tells us is the users are not doing what they need to do to protect their money. So let's talk about protecting your money. Before I get into Bitcoin security, I want to talk about AGAM security. I had a couple of people in my group, they asked me, they watched some of the videos, and they said, hey, you know, your account shows the fourth level of security. How did you do that? Why did you do that? Why is it important? So let's talk about that first, okay? Because just like the popularity of Bitcoin has drawn in, you know, eyes and people that want to hack the technology. They want to send you spoof emails and phishing emails to try and get you to give them your private keys. I mean, there's all types of stuff, you know, going on that's ridiculous. You need to protect yourself. The same thing with Bitcoin has become popular. AGAM is becoming more and more popular. So people are going to start trying to figure out ways to scam you. So you want to have the highest security on your AGAM account that you can. So I'm actually logged into AGAM right now, and when you log in to the left there up under your name, you'll see the security level. If you click on the little italics I, then you'll get the list of security features that will pull up. So the first level of security is just when you verified your PIN via SMS, right? So that's the weakest security that there is, okay? The next level, and here's the goal is that you want to be at the fourth level of security. The next level is actually to receive PIN via email, which is, you know, it's better than just SMS, but it's not, you know, better than the highest level, which is the Google Authenticator. The third level is the Google Authenticator, receiving the PINs, and then the fourth level, and you guys can go into your accounts and see all this stuff, so I'm just talking fast to save time. But the fourth level is the Google Authenticator. Now, here's the deal with Google Authenticator. First off, it's tied to your phone, obviously. You go into your Play Store if you're on Android or whatever, iPhone, go into the store, download the Google Authenticator, and then follow the instructions to actually authenticate the AGAM website so that you have that security. Now, when you first do this, if you've never done this before, you want to make sure that you write down your backup codes for your Google Authenticator. Why is that important, Queen? Well, that's important is if you lose your phone or if someone steals your phone, you have your backup codes, and you can take these backup codes to a new phone, and you can now just, you know, with the touch of putting those numbers in, you've got all of your listing of codes that you've actually authenticated in your app so that you don't lose access to your funds, okay? Because here's the thing I want you all to really implant in your head. There is no lost password or forgot password in Bitcoin. If you forget your password in Bitcoin, you may as well just say, I've just lost my money, okay? This is not a centralized type of technology where you can go and say, hey, customer service, you know, I lost my information. Can you reset my password? There is no customer service in Bitcoin. There is no place that you can go and say, hey, I was irresponsible. I didn't write down the information I needed to write down. I lost my password. Can you help me? It doesn't work in a decentralized type of technology, and that's what we're dealing with. So now you have to take on the responsibility of, being that customer service or being that, whatever, and secure your money, right? Secure your money. So you are your own bank. The blockchain, their tagline is be your own bank. Well, you are your own bank, right? So you have to secure your private keys. You got to secure your passcodes. You may have to write down, and I'll give you a little tip. What I do is I will write down my backup codes on a piece of paper, and then I'll write it down again on another piece of paper, and I have one in a safe that's, near me, wherever I am, and then I may have one in another location that's not near me, right? Like, that's how serious I take it. And then when we get into Bitcoin security, I'm going to show you how really anal I am, okay? But you really want to take this very, very seriously, all right? So hopefully I haven't beat that horse to death. But
no, you have not. Keep going, because it happened to me. So I've learned from this. So yes, it's important.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, yes. we got a use case in point right there. Yep. All right, so that's AGAM. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're on the 4th level of security with AGAM, and just take your time. Some people. I know we've got some people that are, baby boomers and up that are a part of this or whatever, and sometimes you get a little, frazzled because it's technology and it's asking you for this and asking you for that. All you have to do is slow down and read. That's it. Just slow down and read and do what it says do, and then do the next step, and then do the next step, and then do the next step. It's not rocket science. It's just tedious, okay? All right, so let me look at my list here. Other things I want to talk about. All right, so now let's shift gears and let's get into Bitcoin security. We talked about AGAM. That's the first thing you want to do is get that to the top security that you can, and then Bitcoin security. So the thing with Bitcoin, folks, is this: if you don't hold your private keys, you don't own your Bitcoin. What do you mean by that, Queen? If you don't hold your private keys, you don't own your Bitcoin. What I mean by that is if you have your Bitcoin on an exchange, say a Coinbase, a Bittrex, or any of the other exchanges, right, they actually hold the private keys. So guess who owns the Bitcoin? They do, all right? So, well, what do I do? What do I do to hold my private keys? You want to have the wallet that I recommend blockchain.info. That's the first one I started using way back in the day. I'm going to also talk about another one as well. But blockchain.info, you hold your private keys. It gives you backup codes like your Google Authenticator. But in the Bitcoin world, it's not called a backup code. It's called a seed phrase. Right? So seed phrase, you probably will hear that more than once. It's usually a random 12 words, right? So these random 12 words that's, really impossible for anybody to guess. The same way that you would have written down those backup codes for your Google Authenticator, same way you want to write down these codes for your blockchain wallet. And you want to have these codes maybe in a safe in your home. You may want to have a duplicate copy somewhere else. Maybe even a third copy with someone that you trust. I don't know. Just however anal you want to get. And the thing about it is that you can never lose your coin as long as you have the passcode to your wallet and you have that seed phrase. You can never lose your coin. Now with blockchain.info, they also have next level security as well. So you can have your security level heightened there where, hold on, I'm sorry. Someone just texted me and that just kind of threw me off. Okay. You can have your, what was I saying? Oh, God. Oh, I was saying the security with blockchain. So the security with blockchain, you can have it where each time you log in, it sends you an SMS code to actually authenticate that that's you. Right? So whatever security level I say on every wallet that you're going to ever have to have the highest security. It makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's your money, right? So, and you want to write things down. You don't want to commit things to memory, right? Because when you're dealing with this environment, there's so many different moving parts. You know, we got blockchain over here, we got Questra over here, we got AGAM over here, we got Coinbase over here. There's a lot of moving parts. You know, sometimes, hey, we're human. We forget. So, you know, I don't know how the quote goes. I'll try to say it right, but I was told the sharp pen is better than the smartest memory, something like that. So anyway, write the stuff down. Put it somewhere safe. It's your money, okay? Yes. Another thing is if you're using exchanges, I'm not saying that I don't use exchanges. I do use exchanges. But as soon as I make my exchange, I move my money off of there ASAP. Why? Because these are the entities that are being hacked, right? You've heard of all these different exchanges that are being hacked. It's not that Bitcoin has been hacked. It's the exchanges. Because why? They don't have the highest level of cryptography like Bitcoin protocol. So they're being hacked. Right, and if your Bitcoin is on their exchange and they're hacked, guess what? There goes your Bitcoin. Okay, so if you're going to use an exchange, which is cool, you know, we use exchanges. Just take your funds, take your coins off of there immediately. Put it in your own wallet where you own the private keys and you control the private keys. Okay, what else? Okay, another wallet that I want to talk about, and this wallet. It's called Armory, and Trace Mayer, he's one of my guys. He got me involved in Bitcoin way back in the day, just following him. But he was one of the first. He started talking about Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 10 cents. So yeah, his portfolio is nice. Yeah. But anyways. He's a one of the biggest investors with Bitcoin Armory. You can Google or just put in bitcoinarmory.com. Take a look at that. That's another wallet that I recommend. Another thing that you may want to do too is some people, you know, because you're in AGAM, it doesn't make you a Bitcoin expert. You need to really learn the technology of Bitcoin. Read the white paper. Understand the technology behind the private equity fund that we're involved in, right? Understand the technology, because when you understand the technology, there's no way, you know, if you get some stupid email about, you know, AGAM is a scam, that you're going to buy into that, because you understand the underlying protocol. You understand the underlying foundation of what this private equity fund is built upon. Okay, so another protocol I would encourage you to take a look at is the Glacier protocol. The Glacier protocol talks about security on a whole nother level that I could never compete with, right? So this is just some homework for you. So, you know, look at Bitcoin Armory and look at the Glacier protocol. And all of these wallets that I just talked about, these are online wallets. Now I'm going to kind of shift gears, and I'm going to talk about hardware wallets that are not online. The two that I would recommend would be Trezor or the Ledger Nano, right? Trezor and Ledger Nano, not only do they allow you to hold your Bitcoin, but also other altcoins as well. So if you're, you know, dealing with any ERC20s, or, you know, other coins, those particular hardware wallets will support those as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Trezor is already upgraded to the 2x protocol and so forth and so on. And then lastly, and I'll leave room for questions. I can be long-winded. I love talking about Bitcoin. Lastly is passing on your Bitcoin to your heirs. Have you guys thought about that? That's something to consider. I actually met with my financial guy. We put together some things because, I mean, like I said, I've been involved with Bitcoin since 2012, so my portfolio is pretty substantial. I don't want to die with it, right? It's not going to do me any good, right? I don't have children, but I want to pass this on to my loved ones, to my family, because here's the thing. No one knows you have Bitcoin but you. No one really knows you have Bitcoin but you. So if you don't tell your family or have something written up, write a will for your Bitcoin, a trust for your Bitcoin, a something for your Bitcoin to kind of alert people, because this is not the traditional banking system where they can pull up your social and figure out, what all bank accounts you have out here in the United States, all that kind of stuff. You can't do that with this technology. So you have to alert them and let them know, and that would be something pretty responsible for you to do for your loved ones. So I'll leave it with that, Milton.
Okay. Well, we do have a question. Actually, we have one accolade, so I want to say Patrick said, this is a huge shout-out to the Queen. The info was paramount. Thank you for that. So, Patrick, you can come on for that if you want. And then Robert has a question. Robert McKnight says, how do you remove your Bitcoin to another wallet? That was it. I guess we just haven't, a lot of people haven't touched on this. So is that something that's simple to do, or,
Yeah, that's very, very simple, actually. And I apologize. It's so simple that I just felt like it was one of those things everybody knew. But the same way, Robert, the same way that you would move your Bitcoin from, say, you move it from Coinbase to your blockchain, let's just say you have a blockchain.info wallet. So the same way that you would move from Coinbase to blockchain, you're moving from one wallet to another wallet. So every single wallet that you have is going to have its own address, right? That long address. So you would just go into, let me give you a hard example. Let's just say you've got funds over at Coinbase and you want to move it to blockchain. Well, in Coinbase, within the account, there's a send button, and you click on send. It's going to ask you what amount you want to send. It's going to ask you what address you want it to go to. So you'll go over to blockchain, pull your address from there, stick it in Coinbase, pop in the amount, and then click send, and boom. Within 10 minutes or so, it'll get confirmed on the network, and then you'll see it over in your blockchain wallet.
Okay, awesome.
Hopefully, let Robert know if that's not enough to ask another question.
Okay. Yeah, let me see. Awesome, Queen. Thank you so much. He's got it.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right. So what I'm going to do, if you have time for questions or direct questions from Q&A session? All right, awesome. All right, ladies.
I could talk about Bitcoin until tomorrow.
All right. Well, we got 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
We got 20 minutes. So,
you got 20 minutes. So you want to star 6 your line and ask a question of our guest speaker, please do so. This is for you. This is for your education. So go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Who am I speaking to?
This is Melita.
All right, Melita. All right, thank you, Melita.
I enjoyed what you had to say, Miss Queen. And can she hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Thank you. The question I have is, one, I'm having some thoughts about just how to move my Bitcoin that's on my phone to my new phone that I'm about to get, and which phone should I get? Should I stay in the Android world or go to the Apple world? Since Apple has a lot of security within itself in terms of what apps they even let you have on your phone. And then the other part of that question is, how easy is it to move? And what is your thoughts on a wallet that's called Mycelium?
Good.
Okay. All right. So I heard about 3 questions in there. Yes. So let me start with the first one. Now, you're not really moving Bitcoin from one phone to the other. You're moving Bitcoin from one wallet to another wallet. Okay. So at the end of the day, the device that you use doesn't, and you know what, you just brought up another thing for me to remember to tell everybody about, but the device that you use is not necessarily a factor, but the wallet itself. So just like I explained to Robert, when you're moving from, say, Coinbase to blockchain, you're just sending from, it's almost like you're sending an email. That's all you're sending is packets of data. So you're like sending an amount of data from one address to another address. So it's very simple. You just get the address to that wallet that you want to send into, and then you're going to take that address to the wallet that you're sending from, and you're going to place it in there. You're going to put the amount in there, and then you're going to click send. I don't know a whole lot about mycelium. I have read about mycelium. I don't personally use mycelium, so I can't really answer that for you in an honest way because I don't personally use it. And then there was another question you had. You asked about the phone. Okay. I'm going to tell you like this, Melita. I can't stand iPhone.
Okay, neither can I. So you got a fan over here too.
And listen. If you Google, iPhones get hacked more than Android. All right. So hey, do your research on that. Figure out what works for you, and come up with the best thing for you. I'm an Android girl, so you know.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm an Android. I have a Samsung, and I got an old one, an S5, and because I don't believe in buying a new spaceship every year.
Yeah.
You know, it costs too much money. You know, it's like buying a spaceship.
Right.
But someone was saying, oh, you know, the iPhones don't get hacked, and I feel funny because they're so strange. Because right now I can print from my phone, and I can just see it now. They don't want to accept my HP printer, and I just don't. They want you to have everything Apple, and I don't like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
you don't have as much flexibility with an with an iPhone than you do an Android.
What you said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stick with my first line, and you just put a seal on it. I'm staying with my Android. But what I was talking about is, like, when I get my new Android phone, okay, I have my Mycelium wallet on my phone. And, yes, I do have my keys and my codes for those different accounts within my Mycelium.
Okay, so let me wrap it up for you. All you're going to do in your Mycelium, you have a seed passphrase, right? So you're going to go to your new phone. You're going to go to your new phone. You're going to download the app from Mycelium. You're going to put in that seed passphrase, and then that's going to automatically pull everything over to the new phone.
Okay, so when you say the seed, you're talking about those 12 words?
Correct.
Thank you, ma'am. You made my.
You're welcome, ma'am.
And is there a way? Do you have like classes or something online? And may I kindly ask for your phone number? I'm not a strange person. I'm not going to breathe heavy calling you.
That's fine. You know what you can do if you go to YouTube.
Yep.
That's the place that you're going to get information from me when I release it. If you go to YouTube, put in Cash Flow Queen or put in Queen Kenetra, something like that. I'll pull up, subscribe to the channel, and then we can communicate that way. And then whenever I release information, then you'll have it that way. Like I got a book coming out. Sorry, Melton, I have to plug my book.
No, that's all good.
I got a book coming out this month.
That's
I got a book coming out. So I'll be releasing that information on there as well.
All right, guys. And just so you know, I do have her page up right now, Cash Flow Queen, for YouTube. So it is being recorded. So you can just go there and see it for you guys who aren't there, and you can find it. It's up on the in the presentation now.
And you have no problem maybe if I have a group of people coming to speak as you've done so well with this gentleman?
I'm sorry, say that again. You want me to speak for your group?
Yes, at some point later on.
It's a possibility. We can talk about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
You're welcome.
That is awesome.
Hey, here one thing before you take another question, Melton, because Melita made me think about something.
Go for it.
When you guys are on your cell phones and you're using, these different wallets or even just your traditional banking, let me share something with you. And I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm not saying anything, but if you visit porn sites and different sites that are kind of risque, those websites, they put a little piece of technology on your device. And then what they do is they backdoor sell your private information. Okay? There is a huge black market for identity, for identification, for credit card numbers, for social security numbers. You know this stuff. I mean, there's a huge market for this stuff. So if you're doing things like that, get you a little cheap little phone. Use that little phone. Anything that you're doing Bitcoin-wise, banking-wise, don't have all of these different apps on there, all these different games and all this kind of stuff. They're back doors to get your information. Okay? Trust me on this. I know.
Okay.
All right? So I just wanted to she brought that up. So
okay, well, and that was great information. This has been a great call. I got a gentleman on here just mentioned, Rigo just said use Samsung 8 because it has a NOC security, which is secure side of your phone, which separates your personal account from your business side. Now, I didn't know that. It was inside the Samsung Note 8, but because I have a Note 8. I went from a 5 that you had over here. Oh, God, I just threw her name, Lamita. And I went to, the Samsung 8 Note. So, but, yeah, I'm an Android person as well. So, also, Patrick, did you have a question? I saw you said question. So you start sick and ask your question?
If he doesn't, I have a similar
Nelson,
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. Is that Patrick?
Yes.
Go ahead, Patrick. Oh, yep. Go ahead, Patrick. We got you.
Melton, thank you so much for having Queen on.
You're welcome.
Wow, she's just starting to plumb the depths of this. This is invaluable. Thank you so much, Queen. Wow, my head's spinning here. I mean, this stuff, you hit it. I guess the one word you hit is responsibility. I mean, people that are attracted to Bitcoin are responsible people, so let's prove it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm more of just giving you thanks for being on here, and certainly look for a follow-up maybe here in the near future. You said something about blockchain.info. I had a couple of wallets set up for my children. We did different blockchain wallets, and somehow the two boys' phones got mixed up. There was not a lot of Bitcoin in there, maybe $30 or something. Maybe it's 150 today. but can you touch on pairing, because you've got most people are using their devices, but with blockchain you can actually use a desktop, web application. So that way, if you have a problem, and certainly you touched on all the backups. You know what happens with people? It's like, I'm going to get to it one day. Well, you made it really clear today that this is a priority.
No, you need to get to it today.
Yes.
If you care anything about your wealth, you need to get to it yesterday. There's no getting to it. You need to get to it like yesterday, like you said. So yeah.
Okay.
What's your question, pairing, Patrick?
You know how they ask you to pair, or you can pair your devices to a web-based blockchain. Not a lot of the wallets. A lot of the wallets either offer a desktop or a device, not both of them. But blockchain, you can use, do they call it a web-based or a website, your own account online? Versus that.
You just go to their website, blockchain.info.
And
I'm not quite sure what your question is. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, people download their wallets on their mobile phones, but then they're not pairing it with a, I guess you call it web-based or. Okay. All right. I think I got where you're getting at. So let me kind of expound on that. For me, when I started using blockchain from their website originally. I actually downloaded the app, but I took it off. I'm real anal. I don't like to have a lot of stuff on my phone that I don't need. So I would rather go from a laptop, right, to their website, and I've got my passphrase and so forth. And so if I ever, I don't know, just forget my, password or whatever, I can recoup my wallet and I can recoup my funds. But yeah, blockchain definitely has a web portal. So you just go to blockchain.info and utilize the website. And you have to be careful too. Sometimes with the apps that are on the phone, you don't get to see all of the features that are actually within the wallet. And that proved true with blockchain as well. So, it's kind of up to you, but at the end of the day, however you use your wallet, just make sure that you are using it in a smart, intelligent way that's not going to lead you down the road where you look in your wallet and it says zero balance, right, because someone has swiped your coins. Another thing is that even though I'm a heavy blockchain.info user, I don't keep a whole lot of Bitcoin over there. I may keep maybe max I think I got like 1 Bitcoin over there right now, right? So whatever Bitcoin's at right now, it was $7,000 earlier, but so I've got like 1 Bitcoin over there. All my other coins are offline. They're in cold, deep, cold storage that you'll never get to. I don't care how great of a hacker you are, right? So that's where the offline hardware wallets come into play, right? So you don't want to just rely on, an online wallet or a wallet app on your phone. Once you get over a certain amount, you got to start thinking bigger and start thinking higher security and making sure that you secure your funds. Bitcoin is a bearer instrument. It's a bearer asset. What does bearer mean? Bearer means if I have the private keys, it's mine. That's what bearer means. Okay? So if someone has your private keys, it's theirs. It's not yours. So hopefully, Patrick, that kind of help you.
And just real quickly, you mentioned Glacier Protocol. Is that like Glacier as in the ice glacier?
Yes, GLACIER. Mm-hmm.
Protocol. Thank you. Thanks, Queen.
You're
we'll
welcome.
let you have another question.
Hello.
You're welcome, Patrick.
Hello.
Patrick,
All right.
Can I ask another quick question to Queen?
Yeah, go ahead, real quick.
No, there's a guy in front. There's a guy in front of her. There's a guy.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I was just checking to see, are you familiar with Airbit's wallet? I've heard it's just as secure as the offline.
Okay. I haven't heard of it. If it resonates with you, use it. I'm just telling you guys what I personally, use and have used. But there's a ton of stuff out there. If it resonates with you, it makes sense, you like it, just use it. Just make sure that you're doing all of the underlining things that I'm saying. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. Do we have another question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask her, how can I find a list of, because I tried Googling it, a list of those exchanges so I can know what to stay away from?
That's like saying, oh my goodness. That's kind of an inverted question, Melita. What is it? What's the let me ask you this, sweetie. Let me ask you a question. What's the end result that you're looking for?
What's good?
I want to know.
He didn't restart the truck. How you going to come to the city hall and then restart the truck?
Hold on. Star 6 one quick. All right. Are you back on? Queen, you're on, right? If you star 6, that'd be great. Melita, I had to mute the line, so if you star 6, that would be great. Or how you can unmute your line so you can get back on. Let me find you. There you are. Hold on. There you go. Melita, you should be back on. Hold on. There you go.
Okay,
there you go. There you go.
I guess the bottom line is people have said things to me and they're like, oh, blockchain is not an exchange. And I looked at them and I said, that's not true. So I want to know, where can I find a list when people say things for my own benefit and for me to be able to show them, I can tell them, no, this is an exchange. It's not the same as like, well, a Mycelium wallet. I'm holding that in my own pocket, so to speak, on my phone. And I'm just trying to know how to differentiate between when it is an exchange and when it's not an exchange. And the second part to that is, can you ever change your seed words?
All right. Your first, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Your first question, your first question would tell me to tell you to do more research, because blockchain is not an exchange. Blockchain.info is a wallet. And secondly, I'm not sure why you're having to show people proof of things. I think, just research for your own knowledge and, let people believe what they choose to believe. People tell me still today that Bitcoin is funny money. So, your second question was, can you change your seed phrase? I'm not sure. If you go into your wallet, go into where your seed phrase is, and see if you.
Hold on.
Because I'm not positive on that.
Thank you. So the blockchain itself.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
So you're saying blockchain.info is not an exchange?
An exchange is where you buy and sell. So are you buying and selling on blockchain.info, or are you storing?
Storing, but okay.
You're storing. Right. So that's how you can tell the difference. And then, too, if you use what you're comfortable and familiar with, right? So if you're using Coinbase to buy and you're using, blockchain.info, you're good, right? If you're talking about other exchanges and things like that, you have to do your homework. You have to do your research. You have to see, is this something that I trust? If you don't trust it, don't use it. So that's kind of where you have to, again, we're in the decentralized technology space. We're getting back to self-responsibility and self-ownership. That's what we're getting back to with this technology. There's no third party that's going to save us. We have to save ourselves. So we have to be very, very, very clear when we're dealing with this technology and with this currency, and we got to make sure that we're securing things. So what I can tell you is that, it's not about trying to prove to a person this or that. It's just proving to yourself that, hey, this is a website I trust, this is a website that I would want to use, yada, 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 so forth and so on. So I hope that helps you, Melita.
Yes, ma'am, and I will be speaking again. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, you're very welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the top of the hour. Are you in a rush? Do you have another question in your mind, or you can handle, or do you want to end this? Because it's been a great topic.
We can take a few more questions.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Melton. This right here is more important than anything else.
Absolutely.
Right. So
if
you get a €1 million bonus with Questra,
yes,
and you don't know how to secure your million Bitcoin,
yes,
guess what?
Yes.
It doesn't. It's for naught.
Yes.
So this is the most important conversation that we could have.
Okay.
So go ahead. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Any more questions? Hit *6 and unmute your line, and you can ask Queen any additional questions that you have.
Yes, this is Miss Barrett.
All right, Miss Barrett.
Hi, Miss Queen. I have a question. Can you touch a little bit on when you want to exchange, when you want to turn Bitcoin into cash and bring it into your bank account?
Sure. That's a great question. That's usually the first question people have. Well, how can I get, my Bitcoin into money, right? So changing your Bitcoin to fiat. Let's talk about that. The same way that you would purchase Bitcoin from an exchange, and I'll just use Coinbase because a lot of people are familiar with Coinbase. So the same way that you would purchase Bitcoin from Coinbase, when you're ready to go back into, let's say, U.S. dollars, U.S. fiat, when you're ready to go back to that particular currency, then what you would do is you would do the reverse. So now you would take your Bitcoin to Coinbase and you would sell it, right? So once you sell it, then they're going to give you U.S. dollars, into your bank account. So that's one method that you could use. I'll give you another method. Because me personally, I don't sell through Coinbase. Coinbase is heavily regulated, so they got a lot of eyes on them. But anyway, there are cards. There are Bitcoin compatible cards that are either Visa or MasterCard. Okay, these cards can be utilized in a similar way as your bank account would be the kind of the end entity where the funds would actually land. And so let me explain to you what I mean. With blockchain, say you have a blockchain.info wallet, right? And say you get paid from AGAM and your Bitcoin goes into your blockchain.info wallet. And let's say you've got a BitPay card, okay? You got a BitPay card. and you want to put, 10 grand on your BitPay card. Well, you don't necessarily have to go to Coinbase and sell, right? You can actually leave them out of this particular scenario. So you can take your 10,000, US dollars worth of Bitcoin from your blockchain wallet, and you can send it to your BitPay card. Now, once you send that to your BitPay card, it's no longer Bitcoins. It's US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So another thing I want to touch on is this, and this is just food for thought. If you're not readily going to utilize the capital, if you're not going to use the money right now, there's no sense, in my opinion, in having all of your Bitcoin in fiat, because fiat is going down, Bitcoin is going up. So it kind of makes sense to leave it in an appreciating asset versus a deflationary asset. But that's just food for thought, something for you guys to chew on. Did that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. And I do have one more question.
Okay.
When you are bringing cash into, if a person will use either a bank account or a BitPay card, and you have a desire to, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, paying taxes, how because I know they don't give any 1099, AGAM, or Questra. None of those paperwork are available. How I would like to hear from someone that have done it and how they did it.
Okay. Well, what you would want to do, because I will never confess to be a professional tax preparer, you want to go to whoever prepares your taxes, whether it's your CPA or whomever, and let them know what it is that you're doing, and then they will assist you from that point forward in a professional manner. I can't answer any type of tax questions. That's illegal, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay. I understand. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Any more questions?
Yes, I have a follow-up, sir.
Yes, go for it.
I looked at BitPay card, and I believe that was the one my upline had told me. And I saw where they had a little section there very in the beginning about your Social Security number. Is there any of these cards that's not going to have the Social Security number? And for you guys that's on here that has gone to Madrid already, when the card that they show, are they going to require us to put Social Security numbers for that Visa card?
Well, when you're talking Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, you're talking USA regulated entities that have to abide by the Patriot Act, and they're going to ask you for a social.
No, I mean the BitPay card, Visa card, that's going to act like a Visa card, but it's for people with Bitcoin.
Correct, and I just answered you. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, all of those guys are USA regulated entities that are heavily, they actually fall up under the, the financial something, but they have to abide by the Patriot Act. What that means is they have to ask you for that social.
Okay.
You're not going to get around that, so. If you want to use it, you got to cough up your social. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. Spend your Bitcoin. Find vendors that accept Bitcoin directly and spend your Bitcoin with them. Mm-hmm. Then you don't have to use Visa.
So where it says social security number, can you put your tax ID number for your company in there?
You have to put whatever it requires. I'm not the BitPay queen.
Okay.
I'm not the BitPay. I don't own BitPay. But whatever it's requiring you of, if it's asking you for a personal social, then that's what it's asking you. If it's asking you for a business tax ID, then that's what it's asking you for. So whatever it's asking you for, that's what's required.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got it. Any other questions?
I wish I was the BitPay queen. They got a lot of assets under management.
All righty. No other questions. This is an opportunity, guys, to really, ask an expert on how to manage your Bitcoin. So this has been a wonderful discussion. So if you have any more questions, anything you're just thinking about, just get it out.
Well, I'll ask another
Yes.
one. No, go ahead, young lady. You go first.
This may be a little bit off the topic. I wanted to know, just an advice in if you have $100K that you would like to invest. Is it better to do it individually or through a corporation account?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I mean, is the corporation in the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, obviously, I won't say obviously. I'll say, the tax system for the United States is written for business owners. So you have more advantages and deductions as a business entity than an individual. Okay?
I understand.
So that should lead you to your answer. Because I don't want to go down that slippery slope. But as a U.S. entity, you have more tax advantages than a personal, just an individual.
Okay. So, yeah. And my last question: can an individual like yourself, as an upliner, sponsor a corporation on the liner?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sign up personal individuals as well as companies. Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and be paid on them. And remember, the companies. I'm just saying this for other people because they may not be aware. But when companies sign up, the minimum investment they can do is €100,000.
Yeah. Yes.
That's correct. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will not be able to, and they won't be able to have anybody. They won't be able to have any organization or any entity underneath them. I discussed that with John. So it's just a separate entity on their own, sponsored by the individual, the corporation, and so they will not be able to build an organization downline, nothing like that. Just FYI.
Right. It's just a passive portfolio for them.
So individuals with under $100,000, like a church or something like that, they would have to come in as an individual.
Correct.
Okay. Can an individual switch?
Hang on 1 second, Melita. I wanted to make sure this other young lady was done.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
That's okay. Were you done?
I
don't know her name.
I did a bit when you mentioned that corporate accounts is only passive portfolios. What do you mean by that?
What I was saying was, if, say, for instance, you signed up a business and they put in 100K euro, that particular entity, they can't build a team. They can just earn from their 100,000 portfolio.
That's it.
Oh, okay, great.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank
all right, Melita.
So
you're welcome, hon.
Yes. I was just saying, so basically on what she was just saying, any type of entity, it doesn't matter whether it's a church or LLC, anything other than a regular Social Security number, you cannot build a downline, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And if a person starts out as a Social Security number, but they have a company, and once they get their portfolio to a level, they won't let them switch to a corporate entity because they might have built a downline, but they would just have to start like a new situation and be a corporation to have money for that corporation.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Queen.
All right.
You're welcome.
Patrick, did you have another question? I saw something pop up in the message section.
Yes, Milton.
Yes.
While you're here, Queen, how long have you been involved with AGAM?
Hello?
I think it's going on 6 months.
Awesome.
Okay, you're probably familiar with they're bringing on new cryptocurrencies as far as funding positions and also paying out in positions. Because I know there's a
what was the first part of what you said?
Sorry. You're obviously aware they're bringing on more cryptocurrencies as far as being able to fund your accounts and eventually withdrawing in those cryptocurrencies. Do you care to touch on that a little bit as far as your knowledge of what's going on maybe behind the scenes with Atlantic Global?
Sure. Atlantic Global is a very forward-thinking company. They're in the fintech space. They're in the digital currency space. They realize that certain individuals will have an affinity towards certain coins. They're researching the different coins, and they're allowing the coins that have, I guess, the better popularity, so to speak, or maybe they're going by cap rates and the protocols and the support with the protocol. They're introducing those as funding options for people. Just like you have some people that says, I'll never drive a Jaguar. I'm a Mercedes lady. I only drive Mercedes. You're going to have people that say, I'm only Bitcoin, or I'm only Ethereum, or I'm only this. So they're just opening up different avenues for different individuals. And I think they're doing their research to figure out, you're not going to see some of these scammy coins but in the back of AGAM to be utilized to fund your account. Once you start going past, on the market cap, you start going past number 50 down, it starts to get a little shady. You're not going to see those coins back there. So yeah, they're doing their research. They're giving all options that they can that make sense, that are safe, that are secure for people to fund their accounts. Makes sense to me.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yes, wonderful.
Yes. All righty. Any other questions? Was that it, Patrick? I'm sorry. Was that it?
Oh yeah. No,
okay.
That's
awesome.
it. I think for our audience here, just to see the direction Atlantic Global's moving, it's not a stagnant company by any means.
Mm-hmm.
They're really out there. So that's great. It's very encouraging.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one more question. How, like your advice on funding 100,000? What will be the best way to do it? Will that be through blockchain? Because I've been using Coinbase.
Well, great question. What is the individual or the company that's funding the account? Where are they located in the world? Are they in the United States?
In the United States, yes.
Okay, all right. You may want to look at, because if you go through Coinbase, you're going to pay a huge exchange rate on 100K. So you may want to look at their sister company, which is more so geared towards institutional investors, and that's GDAX. So you may want to look at GDAX. Do your research there, and that would probably be the way that you want to go at 100K or more.
Oh, okay. Wow. What is your advice on brokers?
On brokers, I don't know what you mean.
Well,
yeah, there are some brokers, that's in the relation, and they charge a small fee, and they are licensed to, do certain transactions.
Oh, you're talking money exchangers?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, here's my thing. The way I do business is if I trust you and I trust what you say and it resonates with me, I do business with you. If I get any red flags, I don't. So that's just kind of the way I do business. So I can't tell you, I don't even know who you're talking about in particular or whatever, so I can't tell you what to do. I can only say or advise, if you feel good about the deal, go for it. If you don't feel good about the deal, don't go for it. I'm just real simple with things. I just like to keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like, if I got a red flag or something like that, I'm not going to do business with you, So, yeah, if you trust a broker and everything like that, you've got other people that have used them and you feel good about it, then, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
You're welcome, dear.
Bye.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. A follow-up behind what? Yeah, it's me again. I see you laughing, sir.
Melita, you over there thinking up questions.
Yes, yeah.
Always have my hand up in the air. Yeah, and I haven't changed. I have a ministry that's looking to possibly come forward and participate. And if they have 100,000 plus to put in, would they have to do it online the same way, or do they go to Madrid or wherever and sit down, sign their papers, meet them, hand their euro over, or still would they be handing over their Bitcoin? How could that work?
The first thing, I believe it's $1 million plus in order for them to do that. Is that not correct, Milton?
Yeah, I think
is it $1 million plus?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know because I was talking to John because he has someone that's going over with 100,000, but I think they're also just setting up an appointment, but to do that. So I would have to have clarity on that. So that's.
I'm sorry, my dog is saying we've been on too long. on TV.
So I couldn't. I couldn't be clear on that. I couldn't answer that without really going back and asking him because that's where we left. It was at 100,000 because he had someone's going over to do that. So.
And what was the gentleman you asked?
John DeMar. He's been on before. He was our gentleman that came on before. There was a private investigator. Yes. Yes.
So other than that, I could just write the corporate office and the back office and tell them my situation, and then they would tell me how to go forward.
That's what I would advise.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's still going to be, just so you know, Melita, it's still going to be going through the same channels because it's Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out.
Yep.
So it's not like they're going to be able to, just hand it over the counter or whatever. So you know.
Okay, so then that means they need to walk over there with some sort of code so they can scan it into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
The QR
Just
code.
cross the bridge when you get to it. Cross the bridge when you get to it.
That bridge is coming up on me possibly very soon.
Okay.
Okay. When they got that 100K in their hand, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
So thank you, though, both.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions? I mean, I've never seen where they're just about, I don't know, over 50% of people still here even after we're beyond the hour. So this has been a wonderful discussion. So any other questions while we're here?
It's me again.
Okay.
I'm going in and out to give other people a chance. Do anyone, see you laughing at me. You were saying, about how to use your Bitcoin. Do you know, or what's a good way to find out, let's say, car dealerships, places that take Bitcoin to be able to just do your Bitcoin situation without converting it to fiat?
I'm sorry, hon. You're going to have to ask me that again. I got the dog barking and someone's knocking on my door. Ask that question again.
Yes, ma'am. How can I take my Bitcoin, and is there any car dealerships that would sell me a car or clothes or goods and services? Is there a way to find them?
Yeah, there is. You just have to go into Google and put in your search terms. But let me also tell you this. Like I said, we're getting to the point where it's about self-responsibility, self-ownership. Whatever it is that you want to buy, and especially if it's a big item, say you're buying a car, right, and you're going to pay for that car in Bitcoin, the entire car, you just go talk to whoever owns the car dealership and say, hey, look, look at all these homes that are being sold. The homes, they weren't originally accepting Bitcoin, but the person that wanted to buy it wanted to pay in Bitcoin, and guess what? When the deal closed, it was in Bitcoin. So you just have to, use your negotiation skills and say, well, hey, I want to buy this item. I've got Bitcoin. Do you want to sell it? If they want to sell it, they'll sell it. If they don't, they'll say, well, no, I don't know about that or whatever. But, yeah, especially if it's a large item. Small things, you can fly, you can purchase hotels, you can get flights, you can do all types of stuff with Bitcoin. Just go on Google and do a search.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Any other questions?
Hey, Milton, maybe one or two more, then I've got to run.
Okay, fantastic.
I have a quick question. Yeah, this is Otis in Houston. A lot of times we've had large depositors, and when we send them to Coinbase in the U.S., a lot of times when they set up a new account, they put a $500 limit. So it's very difficult for someone to send large amounts through Coinbase. Is there any other option?
Great question. And I'll answer that the same way that I answered the other young lady that talked about the 100K for the entity. If you look at Coinbase's sister company, GDAX, that's G as in gold, D as in David, A as in Apple, X as in X-ray, GDAX. That's an institutional targeted type of platform. you may want to go through that route. You'll save on your exchange fees and everything anyways.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
All righty. I think that's it. One last one, and that's it. Melita, do you have one more question?
So now you're getting like my teachers of old. No, I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. You've been asking them, so we're here. I mean, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I thank you.
Yeah.
No.
She asked the questions that other people have, so that's great.
Absolutely. That's why I'm at. That's why I targeted her, because she's been on the roll. So we're going to bring this to a close. Thank you, Queen, for being a guest on our show, our conference call today. We have provided a wealth of information and knowledge. I have her site up. Don't forget, it's Cashflow Queen on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Go over there. And, there's a wealth of knowledge there that's available to you. So make sure you plug in and get that knowledge. And like I said, we appreciate it. Any closing words you want to add?
I guess my closing words would be really kind of what Patrick and I talked about. Secure Bitcoin is something that you don't want to put off. You want to do it like yesterday. It's really that important. I've had colleagues of mine, back in the day, which Bitcoin wasn't trading at 7,000 a coin back in the day, but they lost 50 Bitcoin here, 100 Bitcoin there, just because they forgot their private keys. They don't know what wallet they put it in, just being very haphazard about things. So I just want to encourage you all to take the responsibility. We're in a new paradigm shift. It's shifting, back to the people, which it should be anyways. We should have the power. So with that power comes great responsibility. There is no forgot password in Bitcoin. You forget your password, you've lost your children's wealth. All right? So just keep that in mind. And be safe. Be safe on your cell phones with different and things like that. And just make sure that you're being smart and intelligent about things. And that's pretty much it. But thanks, Melton, for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. We really, really, really want to thank you for that knowledge you provided us today. So thank you once again. Guys, tomorrow's payday. So I look forward to 10 o'clock in the morning every Friday morning. So it's awesome. So remember, it's payday tomorrow. So thank you, Queen. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful Questra AGAM weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right? Thank you very much. God bless.
You're welcome. Have a blessed day.
You too.